Man. Oh, man. I love that song, man. I really do love that song. Hey, shout out to Outkast, man, because they still jam till this day. When did that song come out? I don't even know when that song came out, but I'm pretty sure I was in high school. Either way, this video is not about that song. It is about the Skullcandy Noggin Thumpers. You know, these are some headphones that you guys are still checking out. I don't know what they came out like 2 years ago, a year ago, in 2020 or 2021. I cannot remember, but you guys are still checking these out on my YouTube channel. So I figured, hey, why not go back in time, bring them back to the future, and talk about them one more again. Now, full disclosure, I have not been listening to these as my daily drivers, okay? And I really only listen to them or use them when I'm gaming and I want that extra impact. You know, when I'm blowing some stuff up, you know, handling the bad guys. Typically, I am using the Sony XM5s. That is my daily driver now. Like, I freaking love these headphones because of the noise cancellation and a lot of the lifestyle features. But that doesn't take anything away from the Skullcandy Noggin Thumpers. Well, okay, look, these are not the Noggin Thumpers from Skullcandy. These are the Skull Crushers. Okay, is Skull Crushers? Wait a minute, yeah, so Skullcandy Crushers, that's what they are. I always nickname them because of that bass, that freaking bass that comes out of these things. I love it. All right, so where do we get started with these? I always like to start with the most obvious, man, the build quality. In my opinion, these are I would say I like the build quality of these the most out of their headphones, as far as like what they've released with the Hesh series and all of the Skullcandy Crusher headphones they have. Even the 360s. The 360s have a metal yoke. So if you look right here on the headband and the yoke, on the 360s, that's actually a metal, which contributes to a lot of weight, extra weight. It feels like quality on the 360s, but I don't know, man. I'm really glad they brought back the plastic or the polycarbonate build on the EVOs here, man. These are nice. Oh yeah. But I also like this little divot right here inside of this silicone headband. It's a very comfortable headband. Now, I am a bald head guy, so when I put on headphones, I got my little tip right here, my little acorn tip. You know, the tip of the acorn where it falls off the tree? It sits right up there in that divot. And that silicone plushiness, it just welcomes the top of my head. So I'm still giving them a thumbs up because this is by far one of the most comfortable sets of headphones I ever put on the top of my head because of this extra gap right here. Now, when we talk about, you know, the quality of the headphones, you can't leave out this, what is this, Alcantara? Oh man, that is some good stuff right there. You don't see that on headphones these days, man. I wish we could get more Alcantara on a set of headphones. Now, these are not the stock ear cups that came with these. They actually came with black, I believe. I went on Amazon and went to Soundwaves. I think it's Soundwaves, and I got my own ear cups, but I switched out the memory foam. So the memory foam is factory. It came from Skullcandy. I just changed out the outer vinyl to make it gray because I wanted a little bit of contrast, especially since it matches the rest of the headphones. It gives it a nice look with a nice contrast on there. Just give it some life. Now let's get into the interface of these headphones. They do not have active noise cancellation, so there's no buttons for that. There's no ambient sound, no putting your hand on the side of the ear cup, nothing crazy like that. These are just for jamming and getting your ears knocked around. Now let's look at the interface of these headphones. They do not have active noise cancellation or ambient sound, so there's no buttons for that. You don't put your hands on the side of the ear cup for anything fancy. These are just designed for playing your music and getting your ears knocked around with all that bass because they have a bass slider. That's what their superpower is. I usually like to keep mine about right there, just kind of like a fingernail's worth of a push, just a little bit to add that extra thump that you might want. But if you want to get crazy, man, and really disturb the peace inside of your cranium, you go ahead and pump that bad boy all the way up there, okay? I'm gonna sit it back down here before I forget and knock my eardrums off later. But you got your power button right there. You got your play and pause in the middle, and then you got your volume up and volume down. That's all the buttons and interfacing you get. They do have some technology built in though. They have tile built in. So if you're one of those people who tend to misplace your things, maybe you leave them at the gym or the friend's house or something like that, and you cannot figure out where you left them. Bruh, if you leave your headphones at your friend's house, right? Then you call your friend up, be like, hey man, I think I left my headphones over there. And they're like, no you didn't, because they heard them. And they're like, man, I'm keeping these. You can always get on Tile, and through the Tile network, you can find out where your headphones are. And then you can actually like reduce your friend count, because that's not a good friend if they're keeping your headphones in line to you like that. They also are app connected. So check this out. All right, right there, you can see we're connected to the Crusher EVOs. If you scroll up, what we got here is full battery life, 100%, baby. And then we got that volume on the right side of that. But then we get into personal sound. As you can see, I was actually using my personal sound because that's actually a technique that they use through a third-party company where they kind of just measure your hearing. You'll listen for tones on your left and your right ear, and whatever you can't hear, they actually push it up and boost it a little bit. That way, you almost have super hearing now. I wouldn't call it super hearing, but it brings your music to life to where you can actually hear some of the sounds you normally couldn't hear had you had this turned off. So I've got mine on because I'm over 40 years old now, man. The doctors say that, you know, my vision is going, and apparently I can't hear as well as I used to either. So I'm glad that they have this built into these headphones. That way I can enjoy my music the way it's supposed to be heard instead of like not getting all of it. Then if we scroll up, we got 3 EQs right here. They're preset, so you don't get to toggle, you know, your bass and your midtones and treble, but we do have music, which is for general music listening. You can always go deep into your phone's EQ and adjust things, but I don't really think you're gonna need it. And then you have podcasts, which actually pulls a lot of the bass and stuff out of the tones, and it projects the music a lot better. That way, because it's a podcast, you're listening for voices, right? It actually boosts those voices. And then you got movie, which is a really kind of a dynamic sound setting, which actually is gonna boost some bass, and it's gonna bring out those voices a little bit and kind of not give you like a 3D effect, but it does boost the things that you would want to hear in a movie, such as bass and of course those voices. I'm putting it back on music because that's what I was doing. And then of course you got your tile feature right there. You got to download the app and stuff. That's for those people who are going to need that. But as we back out of the app, let's talk about how awesome these headphones are and who they're for. Okay, who are these headphones for? Let's just cut to the chase, man. If you consider yourself an audiophile and you're looking for details in your music and, you know, like instrumentation and soundstage and stuff like that, you might want to keep looking elsewhere, man. You might feel a little bit insulted if you put these headphones on. But if you're the guy, girl, who likes to shake your yams while you're listening to your music because you like that bass, you know what I'm saying? You like, let's say your EDM or, you know, some trap music, you know, your old school hip hop with a lot of bass, or, you know, just music that really has bass, and you want to really feel it and hear it because you got the sensory bass, you got the vibrations going, because you got, it's like sticking your head in between 2 15s and just hanging out, okay? Just letting it violate your eardrums. That's what these do. And they do it while bringing out the rest of your music with that extra feature, you know, with the sound and stuff like that, or the boost in the sound. And that's why I like them, because when it's time for me to have a good time, some real fun with my music, man, I love listening to my old school hip hop with these, man, because it just takes me to another place, man. It just makes me feel good when I put them on my head. So if these were gonna be your daily drivers, I say yes. Go for it for your daily drivers because they're going to give you a lot of different things. One, you got that extra dimension in your music. It's almost like a third dimension in your music with adding that sensory bass. But then if you're a gamer of any sort, you know, you want to play on like your mobile games or, you know, a PC or something like that, throw these on your head, man. Get that extra sensory bass going, and you can actually, you know, feel the explosions and the gunshots and stuff like that. And then if you're watching movies, these are going to be great too, because you can emphasize the bass and the footsteps, like the boom, boom, like an action film or something like that. You're going to love it. Absolutely gonna love it. So the Skullcandy Crusher EVO are a great set of all-around headphones if you're the type of person who wants to feel that extra bass and the third dimension of your music. An all-around quality build as far as I'm concerned. You can see here that the ear cups are nice and comfortable, but they're not very big. So if you got smaller ears or medium-sized ears, they're gonna fit very comfortably on your ears. Of course, your ears are gonna touch the pads, but they're gonna be nice and cool, and they're not gonna be pressed up really hard. But if you got the big floppy ears, you might have issue with these. And that's where I get into the clamping force of the headphones as well. Because they have that extra bass and they want you to feel it, they do have a little bit of extra clamping force on your head. Now, Skullcandy is known for having a smaller, I guess, profile for a head. They're not made for big-headed people. You're gonna have to expand them a little bit. I got a little peanut head, like I talked about, you know, with my acorn tip and stuff like that. It's kind of a hybrid peanut / acorn head, and they fit comfortably on my head without too much clamping force. But like I said, if you're a big floppity-eared guy or girl, or got a big gigantic head, or have a ton of hair or something like that, you might feel a lot of clamping force. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bag on the people with the big heads, but hey man, it is what it is. Either way, I really like these headphones and I'm glad I got to come back to them because I have not been enjoying them as much as I should have been. I feel like I've been kind of missing out by keeping them in my drawer, you know, only using them for games and stuff like that. I think I need to just go back and start listening to these again for regular music because it was so much fun. I really enjoyed my listening session with them. Skullcandy Crusher EVO, they are still just as fly as when I checked them out on the channel for the first time, man. I get so many headphones coming through this channel. It's hard for me to, you know, just kind of pick a daily driver and stick with it and, you know, still get to really enjoy and use the other things that come in. But this is one that I'm really glad that I just have with me when I want to have a great time with my music and all my other media content. That's all I got to say about these bad boys. And I was just wanting to show them to you guys because you keep looking at them and you keep checking out the channel for these headphones. And I think it's well worth it because they're still hot. I got to get out of here, man. So y'all keep being good to each other and I'll see you when I see you.